Hi, my name's Sam. I'm head of education here at Makers Academy. I started programming when I was 16 years old. And after university, I went to go and Teach First. I taught at a challenging school up in the northeast of England. I saw firsthand how the traditional approach to education failed to prep these bright young minds for life, for the world, for the employment market. I saw these gifted, inquisitive students who were told to care about things that they had no reason to care about, who were told that what they actually cared about didn't matter. And I saw that schools didn't build on people. Instead, they boxed them, they packaged them, they switched off that hunger to learn, and so I left that. About 3 years ago, I joined Makers Academy. And the reason I joined Makers Academy is because I saw this environment as a place to build an education system that could truly make these future-proof people and start to make inroads on the digital skills gap. Since that point, we've iterated every 4 weeks. Each time we listen very carefully to employer feedback. We incorporate it alongside cutting-edge education theories. That means that we're close to 40 iterations since we began, and we're not slowing down. In fact, 6 months ago, we increased our iteration rate by a full third. So there is nowhere else out there with this kind of agility and responsiveness to the employment market's needs when it comes to training software engineers. So we fully believe that we train the best junior software engineers on the market today. And don't take our word for it. This is kind of what other people have said about us. So this is Martin, I think. Yeah, Martin Aspeli, head of engineering at Deloitte Digital. I love this quote. I mean, I don't like the conveyor belt bit because it's kind of a bit factory line and pushing people through. But I'll definitely take awesome where I can get it. This is Jade. What really resonates with me is that ThoughtWorks only take 1 in 100 people that apply to them. But from Makers Academy, they've taken 2/3 of the people that have gone there. This is such a big deal for me as a software engineer because ThoughtWorks are kind of our North Star in many ways. They're a company that was made huge by Martin Fowler. And he has, in many ways, formed much of the modern world of software engineering. So this feels really, really good. This feels like we're doing something right. So, we recognize that modern software engineers don't work alone cranking out math code in isolation all day. Rather, real software engineers, modern software engineers are communicators. They're collaborators. They care about what they build. Modern software engineers are as at home defining problems alongside marketing reps as they are building stable, fast, elegant, simple systems in teams. They see the software as an extension of themselves, as an extension of what their teams create. And they take that responsibility very seriously. And they must love what they do, because there's always more to learn. I've never met a software engineer that packs up at sort of 5 o'clock at the end of the day and goes home and that's it. You know, you've got to keep your skills sharp. You've got to really love it to be in it. This whole thing, I think, is what the current employment market referred to as product engineers. That's people who really care about building something of value. So we've done this nearly 1,500 times so far over the past 4 years. And we're going to do it many, many more times than that. Highly agile, thoughtful, creative programmers who bring that love, that passion for change, for personal growth to employers' teams. So how do we do that? We have a simple idea that in 16 weeks, we can train complete beginners to become better software engineers, junior software engineers, than any computer science graduate. So first, we train them how to program. That's kind of table stakes. That's your bare minimum of entry. They have to be proficient in this coding thing before we start. And I can wax lyrical about like how we get people to do that and why I think that's really important all day long, but it's really boring unless you're a software engineer. Then we train them in all the core software engineering skills. So debugging, research, design, testing, like around 100 more or so. We use a combination of challenges, of workshops, seminars, and projects to introduce them to each of these skills in isolation and then bundling them together as a larger group. While we do this, we train them in a wide array of modern technologies from largely concurrent systems like Node. Many students will go and investigate a whole bunch of wilder technologies like Elixir and Scala, some of the ones which are really coming in at the fringes of industry usage. We want to train them in a wide array of modern technologies, in approaches, and in principles. So we partner with some of the world's foremost engineering thought leaders to inspire and guide them. At the center of this, the student, their passion, their interest for programming, for learning, and for products. So alongside all of this, we really try to develop on the whole person. Students are constantly integrating, and this is something I miss so much in the education system in which I started out my teaching life. They're integrating topics with real-work examples. We run Makers Academy as closely as we can to be a real-life workplace with senior engineers and tickets and projects and Kanban boards and teams trying to deliver stuff. But they're integrating with conferences and hackathons. We have 14 or so students heading off to Brighton Ruby in a couple of weekends' time. They integrate with one another and with the wider programming community. They integrate with their whole selves. And that kind of sounds a bit washy, I know, I'm sorry about that. But we did kick yoga out of here to have this event, so I feel like I need to make some sort of small concession to it. We had meditation in here just before the event began, which I really wish I'd attended now. I think that might have helped me to zone in a little bit more. And we're going to have to end relatively sharp because we do have a book club, a reading club in here straight after. So this is all, great. It's all fine. But we are missing a key slice of this pie right now. We can only accept, here at Makers Academy, we can only accept a tiny drop from the possible talent pool. We all know the difference a diverse team makes. Like that's fairly common knowledge. Our customers are diverse, so our teams need to be diverse to meet that need. But right now, we have an upfront cost of £8,000 to come and join this course. That pretty strongly selects and bars against so many people from entering this course, as well as having no salary for 3 months. Right now, there are hundreds of gifted software engineers who just can't access this program. And as a result, they can't access the companies that hire from this program. And those companies can't access those talent pools. So we've been able to make some inroads into this. We've done scholarships with IBM, with ThoughtWorks, with Skimlinks throughout the years, and it's slightly widened that access. But the gap between the brilliant people who are trapped in this talent pool and having them work for those companies, working for you, remains vast. So we're here to try and bridge that gap this afternoon. And this is why we're launching Makers Academy Apprenticeships. So since we're in the mindset of apprenticeships, and now I've said the word, the big reveal, it was also on the name of the event, so I guess we kind of preempted that a little bit, sorry. Let's talk about where they suck. And they do, in many cases. Apprenticeships currently fail to meet many employers' needs, and they sort of strike fear into some aspects of recruitment services. Number one, apprentices, generally speaking, lack the skills to contribute value directly within the workplace immediately. This is a pretty massive problem for software engineers. If it takes 18 months of on-the-job training for a level 4 software developer standard to learn how to code, which is the minimum requirement you have to contribute to a software engineering team, then what value are you able to bring for those 18 months? At best, you can be a second pair of eyes and maybe provide some outside perspective. But at worst, you may be a drain on the existing engineering resources that are in that team as they try and get you up to speed with coding and find things for you to do while they build products. Second reason it sucks, training takes a very long time. The levy for large employers is planned in years, right? So after 2 years, it disappears off the pot. And many of the customers that we've spoken to, many of the businesses that we've spoken to, plan their hiring cycles annually. So something like an 18-month program for the software engineer doesn't fit squarely within that cycle. Third problem, it's really hard to find the right people. There is an idea, and it's a common idea, that most apprentices are younger, perhaps pre-university or A-level students. They may lack commercial experience, and their growth can be really hard to predict. Apprenticeship providers in general do a level of selection, but for the majority of apprenticeship providers, that is a pretty minimal level of selection. Because, particularly for software engineering, they lack the ability to try and spot what makes a good software engineer. To be fair, we've been trying to answer that question now for about 45 years, and very little progress has been made in it. But some places will cleave to particularly harmful myths about what may and may not make a good software engineer. Last problem is that it's the same old education system at many places. And this is not the way that we train problem solvers. It's not the way that we train change makers. It's not the way that you make creative software engineers with lectures and chalk and talk and board work and homeworks. But it's all that the majority of providers have known to do. There are notable exceptions to this within the field, particularly when it comes to training young people. We partner with a school called School 21 out in East London. They're not an apprenticeship provider at the moment, but they do have a sixth form, and they're really bucking this trend. They're doing some amazing work, and Debbie Penglis, their head of real-world partnerships, is someone phenomenal to talk to about their sixth form. Really recommend that. But on the by and large, the education system is just not geared up to build creative people right now. We've heard this many times before, and this is a problem. So we are trying to fix these things, and here's how we're doing it. First up, remember that problem, they can't code, they can't contribute. Our apprentices can. They can contribute to professional software development the moment they finish our upfront training. Makers Academy apprenticeships will have a 4-month period of upfront training before they hit your business, your software engineering team, and at that point they can contribute to the level at which Makers graduates are able to contribute. Ruben, who's our COO, often puts it like this, and I'm going to borrow it from him, which is, it seems kind of crazy if you had an English newspaper for English speakers and English readers. It seems kind of crazy to hire a journalist who can't read and write in English, right? So why would you hire a software engineer who can't code to come and work within a software engineering team? Second up, the training currently takes ages. R1s will take 12 months, not 18. 12 months is the minimum period required to complete a level 4 software developer apprenticeship standard. We already know, having worked on the standard with the Trailblazer group, we already know that we meet the standard's requirements by the time people finish this course. However, the minimum term on that is 12 months. So we're able to offer that in 12 months, not 18. That means that the retention of individuals is higher and the turnover from the program can be lower, but it also means that you can fit into those annual planning cycles as well. Third up, getting the right people is really hard. We've done this for years. We get over 1,000 applicants a month. We accept only 24 people onto our program each month. There is no one else in the country that handles this sort of selection volume and has that level of experience trained on data. We've been refining our selection process for 4 years with all the agility that we bring to the course. It's been designed and refined by software engineers, and it works. We know how to do this because we've made those mistakes. We will work to companies' stated requirements, attracting and selecting the right people that they ask for. Again, we've done that before. We did it with ThoughtWorks, we've done it with IBM, we've done it with Skimlinks, we've done it with others. You will always have the final say on who you take, and we will optimize for your time, minimizing the number of interviews that you have to do. This is bread and butter stuff for us. It's the exact same process that we've done with hundreds of hiring partners over the years. Those of you in the room who have hired Makers graduates know exactly what that means. And please do ask our hiring partners how that worked out. And the fourth part, the same old story. Well, ours are Makers graduates, right? They exceed the requirements of the standard already in place. with all the value-added elements of our existing program. Thoughtful, agile engineers focused on their own trajectory. Compare the Market, which is one of our oldest hiring partners, measure how long it takes a maker to progress from a junior position to a mid-level position. They've hired several makers, so they've got a reasonable data set on that, and their average is 8 months. The average employee at other parts of Compare the Market is about 18 months. So our people are on a pretty insane trajectory, and it's one that they will absolutely want to maintain. So, them's the headlines. That's kind of what we're about, I guess, in terms of apprenticeships. And that's what we would love to talk to you more about. We're running our first apprenticeship cohort in December 2017. We started out with 24 places. We have 8 places remaining for that cohort. We will be looking at running additional cohorts in the new year. We're allocating the remaining seats on that program on a first-come, first-served basis. I guess the best thing that you could do if you are interested at this point is to talk with any of our careers team around the room. Most are wearing Makers Academy t-shirts. Everybody, I think, is wearing badges. Give us a wave. Hey, everybody. And register an expression of interest with them for that December cohort.